Hey YouTube, let's just see. Hey YouTube, how are you? I hope everyone is doing well. So listen, this is my first live stream in a long time, and I'm just checking in to see how things are going with each and every one of you. And so listen, really cool things are happening. I'm going to be uploading a ton of videos that are that we have had kind of sitting in our vault for a while, and I feel like they would be super useful for each and every one of you. So I want you to check out those videos and to really dive in and to help grow your business. So that's one thing. The other thing that I want to share with each and every one of you is that I have been posting like my podcast interviews. And I noticed that when I do my regular videos, I get tons of views. But when I do my podcast video, not so much. I hope that means that you guys are listening to the podcast on either iTunes or Spotify or Google Play or what have you, or you're going to the website and you're looking. But if not, I just want to really stress in a major way how important it is for you guys to actually watch or listen to those podcast episodes, because I don't do those podcasts for myself. I already know the business. I've already been successful in the business and continue to be successful in the business. But those podcast episodes are literally for you. They are to help you grow. And the questions that I asked, they're very deliberate and very specific, so that because I get questions from you guys all the time on my YouTube videos, like right underneath, like, D, what do you do with this? Or D, how do you do that? My schedule is super busy, so I don't always have time to comment right under. But what I do is I take those questions and then I pull them into the podcast, so that you guys will be able to hear not just what I'm teaching you and what I do, but what other industry professionals are doing within the industry. And which I think is very important for you to be able to understand. And these are people who have been just as successful as myself, if not greater, or maybe sometimes not so much greater, but these are people that are actually, that are doing great in the business and that are rocking it out. And so I really want to work with you guys throughout the podcast to help you understand that there are some things that you probably are not aware of. And, there are things that you're probably not aware of. And I want you guys to have that. I want to armor you with all the knowledge and skills and abilities and tools that I can to help you guys be super successful. So that was one of the other things that I just wanted to mention to you, that you definitely want to check out every podcast episode. And just so you know, we're about to upload one today with Scott. I think it's Scott. And let me just look and see, because that one is freaking awesome. First of all, he had me crying laughing on this particular podcast. Please tell me I didn't screw it up. Scott, yes, Scott Wintrip. So that's coming up in a minute. He had me cracking up on this podcast. He told me I took him to church. That was really cool. He was very funny, but super knowledgeable. He's speaking at ERE later this year. Check out that podcast. The one we did last week with Raj was absolutely phenomenal. Like, we have really cool, awesome people coming on the podcast to really talk to you. And everyone knows that, hey, Emma, thank you. I appreciate you. Everyone that I bring on this podcast knows that they're here to support you and you only. So the questions, everything is there specifically for you. Okay. So I'm really excited for you guys to really dive into the podcast. And really cool, one of the things that we're doing this week on a new portion of the podcast that we're doing is that we're highlighting staffingpreneurs. So our first staffingpreneur that we're highlighting, her name is Pam Scott. She's out of New Orleans, and she's doing IT security as her niche. She's got like 3 or 4 specific niche positions that she's working on. And she's going to be the first journey that we follow for somebody who's starting up their own staffing agency. And so, I'm sorry, my assistant is texting me. She's putting messages on here. Let's get him on there at 3:30. 3:30 is fine. And no. So okay. So I just want to throw that out there at you guys for that. Walter says you're launching your staffing agency January 2019. Congrats. Okay, Walter. First of all, did you get the checklist off of a recruitmentstore.com? So if you don't have your startup checklist, make sure you have it, because there are a lot of things that you definitely want to do. But I'm going to fill you in. So first of all, the podcast is definitely the first 3 or 4 episodes of my podcast talks about what things that you want to do in your startup journey. I would tell this to anybody who's starting a staffing business. The very first thing you want to do after choosing your niche is to do a competitive analysis. And most people don't want to do one, or they do not do one, or they half-ass their competitive analysis, right? So, and if you guys want to see a video on how to do that, just let me know in the chat box, and I'll do that. And we could even do it live one day. I have been working so hard over the last year trying to get my internet working right so that I can still work from my home office and stream live without it being crazy. So I hope you guys can see the stream without it being crazy. I won't know until it's done. I'm taking a chance. So you want to do your competitive analysis and make sure that you can clearly show not just what you do that's similar to what other agencies do, because remember, it's 19,000 staffing agencies, but you also want to be able to show what you do differently. And most people starting a staffing agency have no clue as to what they do differently. Everybody is offering the same exact thing. Put a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Put a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. How many times have you seen every agency doing the same thing? It's your job to show what sets you apart. It's why would a company leave their current agency to come work with you if you guys offer the same exact thing? And don't tell me quality, because they don't know that. Don't tell me speed. They don't know that. Don't tell me service. They don't know that. What do you do differently than your key core competitors? And I'd like to see 5, okay? So this is kind of what I walk my clients through when I'm working with my clients on a one-on-one basis and helping them get their business set up. Also, I have noticed a lot of newbies coming across my desk trying to start this business on a budget. And I commend you for doing that. Keep doing it. High five. Wow. The only thing is that when you're doing this on a budget, many times you guys are putting up crappy websites and horrible logos. And understand that today, everything is visual. Think about it. You're on YouTube now to hang out with me. Visual. Everything is visual. So if you're thinking don't put up a $5 website. Okay. I love GoDaddy. I love them. I've been with them for 11 years, literally. And I spend more money than I would like to say out loud on GoDaddy. And I use GoDaddy for my hosting, but I use WordPress hosting. Invest in a website that allows you to look rich, that allows you to look like you are established, or like you have invested time and money into your brand, because people are looking and people are watching, and that is imperative for you as well. So Walter, get your checklist from a recruitmentstore.com. Choose your niche wisely. Please do not choose an entire industry as a niche. That is going away. Okay? That is going away. You want to choose, especially if you're a one-man firm, you want to do little tiny positions, not tiny, but 3 at the max positions if you're by yourself. And that's still going to be way too much for you if you're by yourself. And you start focusing on that, building your brand around that, and then you'll expand. Clients will come to you all the time for other things, but you want to start with some direction. And then what was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, and don't forget to do your competitive analysis so that you'll be able to see, so you'll be able to show how you set your business apart, how you're different from every other agency. If you're here for the first time, subscribe to my channel, please, because I'm going to be going live more often now that I know my system will allow me to do so. So I want you to see that bell, and whenever you see me go live or post a video, you'll already have it and you'll know that I'm there. Also, I want you to thumbs up this video if you found anything that I said to be helpful, because people are mean on YouTube. And if they don't see thumbs up, they think something else. So just thumbs up. Plus, it makes me happy. And then finally, share this with anybody that you feel like, would find this stuff to be really useful. Walter, of course, if I can help in any way, I definitely will. So I'm like super passionate about seeing people step out of their comfort zone and to really take control of their career. And a lot of you that are watching this live and that are going to go back and watch the replay, you're sitting on the fence. You want to do something different, but you're not really sure what you want to do, or you think you want to get into staffing, and which is great. Many of you are employees trying to transition over into an employer type of role or a CEO role. Some of you are not ready for that. Some of you, and you don't want to admit it, but some of you are not ready. Some of you are. Wherever you are, this channel is going to talk about all of that stuff. My YouTube channel talks about all of that stuff. And I think we have 450 videos as a whole on the video. I have like 150 that are hidden. So it's about 300 live videos on here. You should never fall short of information if you just even stayed on my channel. And again, I'm about to post some videos of things that we've done in the past and that I feel like may be helpful. And we're going to be creating a couple of new playlists. So when you guys see those new videos come out, please watch and like and all that great stuff. But more importantly, take advantage of the information that I'm sharing with you. Most staffing agencies are not going to share this information with you because you are their competitor, period. So, just keep it. I'm just keeping it real with you. So I'm giving you information now that will help you later on so that you can continue to thrive. And just know that the training that I teach you is not just, this is what you do to make the business work. It's also psychological training. And that's so important. A lot of people don't understand that. It's because you're dealing with people, and people are mental. So if you're thinking like recruiting is just a job, you come in, it's not like that at all. I want to just change your perception right now. You have to really think about how someone is communicating with you to define how you want to communicate back with them. And so that's important. So a couple of things that I'll be talking about as I go live over these next couple of weeks with some live stuff. And I may do a series, but I want to talk a lot about sales and business development, like how you're going out to get your clients and the things that you're doing prior to going to get your clients. That's super important. Most of you start your staffing business and then you immediately say, how do I get the client? It's the first thing you say. And I'm like, holy crap, that's just like going to buy a house and seeing the land and saying, okay, I'm going to purchase this land. How do I move in without a foundation? And so I really want to get into the ins and outs around, what do you do before you go after a client? And one of those things, I shared with Walter, was making sure that you have a competitive analysis so that you know what you're sharing and what you're not sharing, right? So that's important. One of the other things that I want to talk about is your production, right? So many of you are attempting to hit $1 million or take your $1 million status to a 5 million. Some of you are at the 5 million. You're trying to get to 10 million. Most of the clients that I work with are either between the 0 phase and the 20 million phase. So that's typically my niche space, working with staffing agencies from 0 to 20 million. And there are things at every phase of that business that you have to do differently. So the things that you do from 0 to 500, I would say 0 to $1 million, are going to be somewhat different than what you're going to do from 1 to 5 million, which is going to be somewhat different than what you're going to do from 5 to 10 and vice versa. So that's why my clients are in different segments, because everybody's in a different place. If you're at a 0 to $1 million, there are foundational things that you must do and that you must know how to do every day. You have to know what your goal is every day when you're picking up the phone or you're reaching out to somebody. There are things you've got to do and that you must know. And so we'll talk about those things as I go live over the next couple of weeks. I'm feeling fired up and feeling good. Are you guys feeling good today? Yes. Are we feeling like, yes, I can do this? Walter, are you like, yes, I can do this? Are you amped up? Emma, what are you doing over in the UK? Are you rocking it out? Dre, what you doing? So we really want to get fired up about our businesses. We want to breathe love and life into our business. And as you guys are starting to think about your competitive advantage and what sets you apart, like I really want you to start thinking about what sets me apart. If everybody is doing these things, what's the one thing they're not doing? And if you don't know what that is, this is where I want you to dive into your mental, dive into your higher energy state, dive into your creativity. And I want you to breathe love into your business by creating something. Now, many of you might be saying, D, creating, how can I create a new service? Well, listen, I promise you my mom didn't know what Twitter was 20, 30 years ago. And now to tweet is a verb. My mom definitely didn't know what a Google was. And now Google is the internet god, except YouTube might be taking that place, right? So things are created out of our thoughts every day and made real. Whatever your additional service or solution that you may be offering that's different from everyone else, understand that's not just your key differentiator, but you're actually taking a real idea that you had and you're manifesting it into something that is real. Not everybody can do that. Only true creators can do that. And if you're here on my channel and you're watching, I'm getting fired up over here. You are a creator. Let me guide you and help you bring that stuff to life, because this is where it is. Domer said, hey, Miss Williams, when will you be having a training camp in Sacramento? We will do another live boot camp next year in 2018, but we're probably only going to do one for the year. And you're probably like, why? And I'll tell you, because I am launching 2 books this year. Actually, 3 books are coming out in the next 3 months. So just so you know, this is one, how to start a resume writing business. I'm finishing up the edit and the audio for Audible. So that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. We then have the niche solution, which will be great for each and every one of you, which gives everything step-by-step in detail. That'll be out. And then we also have my memoir and self-help book that's coming out. So next year I'll be traveling a lot. So we'll only do 1 boot camp. But I'm not sure when that is. It may be on the West Coast. It may be on the East Coast. Whatever it is, I'll do advertising and let you guys know when the next boot camp will be. Hey, Lokisha from India. It's great to see you here. Next month, you're starting. You're going to make me go get my, wait a minute. Stay right there. Y'all know I got to have fun. Okay. Yes. This is for Walter too. Woo! And for anybody who's starting. Woo! Okay. I won't drive you guys crazy today. Okay. So congratulations, Lokesh. That's awesome. Starting your recruitment firm next month. Can you suggest the best niche to start with? So you want to start with something you're passionate about, something that you're not going to get bored with. Me personally, I would completely get bored with healthcare. I would never start a healthcare staffing agency. That's me, D. Williams. But I am a super anime geek. I love anime. I am passionate about music, as you can see. My synth right here, right? I am passionate about technology, right? So I love to sell. So I would probably focus and wanted I would focus on something that I'm really passionate. I like money. So finance might be a niche. So you want to think about what niche is. It invigorates you, one that gets you amped up, because you're going to be going to conferences. You're going to be talking to these people in this niche space. You're going to be like in it. So you don't want to get into something and you're like, ugh. You want to get into something where you're like, yes, And I think that's a piece that most people don't really do. They don't get excited about their business. You got to get fired up, because that's what keeps you going every day. That's what pushes you and moves you out there. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely kind of look at something that you're passionate about. In technology, which that's one of my favorite sectors, there is so much opportunity. What I would say to you is this. The last time I did research, 400,000 position titles in the United States alone. Okay? go find one, find two, find three. Make sure you check their salaries. Make sure you see that it's a decent amount of positions that are open, more than 7 or 700 even. But think about it. If you only place 10 people out of those 700, you're still doing great, right? So you want to just kind of look around and see what makes sense to you. But I'm not going to give you your niche. Only you can define that niche. Hannah, you left me. Don't leave me. She retracted her message. What you got to ask me? Tell me. I only got like 4 minutes, and then I've got a 2:30 client. So I was trying to sneak in between my clients and hang out with you guys. Walter, I love your energy more. D, I fell off, but you are rejuvenating me. Listen, Dre, there is no falling off. What are you talking about? I know you didn't just say the F word. Did you say the F word? There is no falling off. Like, Oprah does not fall off. She doesn't check out, right? Bill Gates doesn't fall off. He doesn't check out. Shoot. Listen, I have been obsessed with, I'm making music. Y'all don't notice, but all the music you hear on my channel, 99% of the music you hear on my channel, I produced. And so I'm like really into music, right? And Eminem has this new CD. I don't know if you guys have heard Eminem's music, and he's got this song on there called Lucky You. And he talks about how people talk about he fell off and how he's back and all of this stuff and how he never fell off. He just took a nap. Listen, Dre, we don't nap. We don't fall off, because relationships die when you don't stay consistent, right? Even me here in my relationship with you, Hannah, Walter, Dre, Lakeisha, Emma, all of you guys that are watching, so many people watching right now, all you guys watching. I have a relationship here with you on YouTube. My schedule gets crazy and I don't get to hang out with you guys as often. And I lose my audience. I lose you. You forget about me. So you can't ever fall off. Never fall off. You got to stay in the game. My mama, and then I got to go. My mama do this real quick. So my mama says this. Let me stand up. I got on shorts today. But she says this. She says, when things are rough, she said, you don't stop. She says, think about a marching band. She says, a marching band is moving, right? They're going their way. They're moving forward. And then the guy with the whistle says, mark time, march, which means you march in place. But you don't stop moving. You're just standing still moving, right? You're still marching, which means you still got activity going, Dre. You're still active. You just haven't moved that forward. So what I want you to do is never stop moving, right? You always keep moving. So you can't fall off. You got to keep moving. But sometimes you got to pace yourself a little bit to get back in the gear where you need to be. I hope you felt that energy. I hope you felt that love. Mwah, I love you, Dre. Greetings. I'll be launching my business in a month. How do we a month? Ah, Hannah, yes! Congratulations. Hannah's starting her business in a month, guys. That's awesome. How do we reach out to you for consultation? Your videos have been really inspiring. Awesome. You can go to Identifies Consulting. You can go to Staffingpreneurs Academy. All the links are in the box below. So just hang out. I would love to help you launch your business. That is what my biggest passion is. I have clients in South Africa that I work with now online, Finland. I have a client in Japan. I have a client where's it? She's somewhere in Asia. So yeah, I have clients all over, literally. So, and I'm helping them grow, wherever they are. Some of my clients start at zero. And then some of my clients are already coming in the door with some income. I've got 1 minute to answer everybody's questions. What would be the options if you want to enter overseas recruitment? I'll do that on my next video. I only have less than a minute. Great energy. Yes, right, Jordan. My girlfriend has been a travel nurse for the last 5 years. So the medical arena is what we're most knowledgeable about, but may not be most passionate about. You. I wouldn't say, what I would say is, so travel nursing is a great niche to get into. I would just say you got to have a lot of money if you're going to do travel nursing, because it's very competitive. Just really quickly, it's super competitive. So you want to have a nice bucket of cash to float you with that. The other thing is that you really want to take a look at your competitive analysis, because nurses are different than some of the other niche spaces out there. And some of them are super loyal, and then some of them are not loyal at all. And so depending on what you offer will ultimately determine whether or not they stay with you. When you're talking about anything in healthcare, the client is not the most important piece. They come a dime a dozen. Why? Because there's a shortage of candidates. So if you're in the healthcare space specifically, your whole business, your whole brand, everything you do is going to be related to the candidate side of the business, because that's the piece where there's the greatest shortage. So if you're not passionate about it and you don't like it, find something you are. There are 30,000 healthcare positions out there. I know that for a fact. And there, if it's non-clinical, you'll have a larger spread than what you will if they are clinical in some instances, depending on the position. So Jordan, I'll come back on live maybe tomorrow in between my clients. If I don't have like a crazy schedule, I think I have one opening tomorrow, and we can come and talk about that in a little bit more detail. I really need your help, because in 1 year I only did one placement. You definitely need my help, because you should be doing 4 to 6 placements per month. In my prime, I was placing 5 to 6 people direct hire per week, not including contract. So yeah. So you welcome, Lokeesh. Thank you. All right, Jordan, I love you. Dre, I love you. Lokeesh, I love you. Emma, Hanny, the cuddle doodle. I love your name. I love you so much. Dre, Hannah, Walter, Emma, everybody, I love you. Whoever else is watching, please like my video. Like. I'm 3 minutes late. Like, subscribe, share. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Don't forget to watch the podcast.